So I was in Birmingham the other day. First time I've been back into a physical shop to see actual products for the first time in months. It's been a long time trawling the internet to have a look at watches, cars, all sorts of things. So we went in. Obviously my son, as usual, did pretty well. Came back with full outfit. I came back with I think a pair of socks. But we did go into a few watch shops. Now, the first one we went into was Watches of Switzerland. I managed to get myself on the waiting list for a Rolex GMT Master 2. I'm going to tell you how that happened. I'm Andy, and welcome to the English Watch. So as always, don't forget, please subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoy this, and thanks very much for the support I got on the previous video about the Apollo 8. Which was a surprise to me, and it was great to do that unboxing, so thanks for your support on that. I was done at this table as well, so maybe this format works, so I'll use this more in the future. So we go into Birmingham, and the first stop is Watches of Switzerland. Now I've been into the Watches of Switzerland place before. It's a nice store, it's traditional. They do a range of brands, anything from Longines all the way up to JLC, Omega, Rolex, IWC, Panerai. So they've got a good range there. No, they've got Zenith as well. We went in, the guys let us through the door, and he said, have you got an appointment? And I'm like, sorry, I don't have an appointment. And he goes, it's okay, just go and have a browse, we'll be with you shortly. And sure enough, within 10 or 15 minutes, I was sort of browsing around, just seeing what was in there. We were taken aside by the salesperson, very politely, very well mannered, sat down, and we sort of discussed why I was here today. I explained that I was interested in potentially a daily chronograph, which I've mentioned before, and I think I was starting to look for a dress watch. Looking through my collection, it's very sports watch heavy. So at the moment I'm looking at switching jobs up. Maybe a dress watch would be a nice little gift to myself, something to hold on for a long time. And it's funny enough, I was watching a show the other night. It was a chap on the BBC called Alexander Armstrong, and he was walking around Florence in Italy. I'm explaining this because not everyone's from the UK that watches this, so apologies for those that are. Anyway, he was walking around and he had what looked like a gold sort of Calatrava style watch. He's wearing just a shirt, a pair of chinos. And it was in the look that he had with the watch and the shirt was pretty classic, timeless, I'd say. He could be in any decade, other than the hairstyle and maybe the quality of the video and some of the cars that were running around, you wouldn't really tell. So I thought, I'm going to have a look at one of those when we go in. Anyway, they don't sell Patek Philippe there, but there are good alternatives. So we go in and I say, well, you've got Breitling and IWC and Omega. Have we got any of the new models that we can look at? And he didn't. The only new ones that they had were the Omega Speedmaster, the professional, so the one that was replaced in January this year. And please check out my review of that watch. It's a review, it's more of a first looks, because I didn't actually get my hands on it until this weekend, but I did get my hands on it. And I have to say, I was quite taken with the watch. I mean, comparing it to the normal Speedmaster that I have, here it is, on this crocodile strap. Looking very smart, had some poly watch. Didn't need it, it was looking a bit misty. So I enjoyed the watch. I thought that the bracelet was really nice, tapered really nicely. I liked it had some flex, it was like that sort of rattle that you get, but it was sort of designed in. The dial looked nice, although not massively different, at arm's length, because these are small things, aren't they? And you can, if you zoom in and macro it, then it's going to look different, but at arm's length it was very similar. Not enough for the uninitiated to tell the difference. And I checked for the sharpness around the case that some people have reported. I have to say, I wouldn't say it was any worse than any other watch that I'd had. So I've got nothing to add to the whole sharp Omega Speedmaster case issue. It's not something that I really noticed. Anyway, once we got over the disappointment of not having the new Breitling Datora, I think it was, with the salmon dial, and we didn't have the IWC Pilot 41, which I'm very interested in as well. So we said, okay, let's look at some dress watches. So I said, I'm interested in, and I really want, a moon phase. And again, those that follow me know that I've been looking at the master calendar from JLC. the one that was released last year at Watches and Wonders. And I have tried that one, I do like that watch. Maybe it's the strap, maybe it's just not quite dressy enough for what I'm looking for. So I thought what I'll do is I'll try on the ultra thin moon phase, put the watch on, and I'll put a picture, it's up there isn't it? Put a picture up here to show you. And this was the steel one with the silver dial. It was slim, 39mm, strap, very classy. Even my son commented, he's like, blimey, that's a nice watch. Yeah. And if number one son, teenager, thinks it's nice, then it must be, because obviously they know everything. So I said, have we got one in rose gold? Not that I could afford it, but it'd be nice to just see the difference. And they didn't have a moon phase one, but they did have the standard date in rose gold. Very nice, brown, crocodile leather strap, and again, very classy, very much similar to the look I had in my mind. But I think the moon phase for me is just one of those complications I want to add. I'm very, as you know, into space, astronomy, etc. So having a moon phase is, I think, the icing on the cake. Whilst we were talking about watches, and he could genuinely see that I was interested, that I was enthusiastic about watches, he noticed that I was wearing my Submariner. And he said, oh, did you get that from us? I said, yeah, I did. Got it from Goldsmiths up the road, because they've got a watches in Switzerland and a Goldsmiths in Birmingham. I sort of mentioned that I'd bought a number of watches through them over the past few years. And I can't remember the exact lead-in, but we talked about the scarcity of Rolexes, and I said, oh yeah, it'd be good one day if I could get a GMT Master to replace the Tudor I had. And he said, well, if you want, I can register your interest. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because then we started talking about this year's releases, about having it on an Oyster, on a Jubilee. If I was going to get one, because I've already got the Sub on an Oyster, I'd probably go for the Jubilee. So he got the iPad out, put my details in. He found me, found my spend history, and there we go, registered. Yeah, what was the secret? Well, the secret was nothing really, other than I've bought some watches from them, and again, not high value watches, Speedmasters, Planet Ocean, a couple of Tudors over a number of years, but I showed genuine passion. I showed that the watch that they'd sold me, I still have on my wrist. I showed him the scratches. I'm not a flipper, a genuine purchaser. So I guess if we're talking about what is the secret of getting on the waiting list, I think it's a combination of those things. Obviously, I'd shown that I'd been loyal to the Watches of Switzerland group. We talked about the good service I'd had over lockdown, where they'd sorted some screws out for my Submariner and for my Tudor. So, the relationship I've got with that group has been nothing but first class, and I know some people have got an issue with Watches in Switzerland and the way that the whole Rolex thing is dealt with, but I think if most people know, if they go into a dealership and the first question they ask for is, can I get my name on a waiting list? Maybe the better approach is to maybe skirt around the issue a little bit, show them you're a genuine watch enthusiast. It would be nice to have bought some things from them in the past. I mean, these are watches in high demand. Why are they going to give it to you rather than someone that's a return customer? And this is something Yashin covered on the Timeless Watch channel, where he talks about loyalty. And I can resonate with that. So my experience is going to be different to your experience, and people in the UK, they'll have a different experience to people in the US or France or Germany or Canada. And it may be localised within those regions also. Someone that would come back and they got me into a Submariner, so that was nice. If I don't ever get the GMT, not too fussed really. If I get the chance to buy it, I'll absolutely buy it, and I'll move the Tudor on, and that'll be my GMT watch. But my focus at the moment is on this dress watch. So anyway, so we left with JLC, classy. It's not a step down from Patek Philippe. It's not a Patek Philippe, but do you know what? It's not the money for Patek Philippe, but the craftsmanship is almost there in terms of the movement, the dial. It's a fantastic piece of kit. So I then found myself in the Omega boutique, because Rolex didn't have the tray saw version, and Omega do this the 40mm tray saw. It's a little bit bigger than the Master Ultra Thin, but we tried it on. And I really like that one as well. That was just the date, again in steel. They do a rose gold one of those, and that's just over 10,000 quid, which you probably get a reasonable discount on. And that one looks quite good value. Okay, so my collecting sites going forward are aligned more to the dress watch, not to anything else. And I think I can see myself wearing one of those. I mean, I'm over 50 now, and it's one of those things where you look at it and you think, oh, you know, maybe it's a bit of a granddad's watch, but I just think it's classy. Anyway, this has been a bit of a ramble, but, you know, again, just to refresh, if you want to get yourself on a waiting list, it's about relationships, it's about loyalty. It's not about going in there, you know, demanding. Don't hit them with the R word straight away. Should it need to be that way? No, but do you know what? This is luxury we're talking about now, and scarce luxury. So if you don't want to pay over retail, which I don't, you got to do a bit of legwork. And do you know what? If you can't be bothered, there's so many other ones to buy. So I would have quite happily walked out there with anything, you know. As I said, my main focus was IWC, it was JLC, it was Breitling even, which is something I've never really considered before, not Rolex. So cast your net wide. I've had a few comments on some of my posts where people will say, someone will say, oh, great review, love this watch, it'd be like the Omega or something, the Speedmaster. And then someone will reply and say, it's not great, it loses 20-30% of its value. Well, it probably loses more, but that's not a reason not to like the watch. And you're talking about something that you can't get hold of, so why is that one better? Because your enjoyment of obtaining the watches that are obtainable surely are better than having some emotional turmoil about not getting a watch and then having to pay over the odds for it. Where's the enjoyment in that? I don't see it. So cast your net wide, look at all the brands, go and try things on, go into your high street, support your high street, go and try things on. You'd be surprised. You can haggle a bit of a discount, you can get your 0% finance, and you know, if you're buying a, let's say, I don't know, a £5,000 or £6,000 watch over 3 or 4 years, well, do you know what? You get it at 0%, those brands are going to make year-on-year price rises for that period of time anyway. So you probably get your discount anyway. Plus, you get to spend someone else's money. So don't do it if you can't afford it, but it's an option, and you shouldn't feel guilty about paying retail, in my view. If you can get a bit off, great, but that shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. It's about the experience, it's about why you're buying the watch in the first place. It's about memories, isn't it? And 10, 15 years down the road, who cares if you got 500 quid knocked off the watch or not? Yeah, it's all about that. Anyway, more rambling. So, thanks for watching. I've been Andy, it's been the English Watch. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.